And yes, Jay Powell, the chief of the Federal Reserve. We're watching these markets. We've got some green for the Dow 30 at the moment. And the market's pairing losses after President Trump's response to questions about whether he is considering firing the Federal Reserve Chair, Powell. Listen.
Are you completely ruling out the idea of firing Jerome Powell?
I don't rule out anything, but I think it's highly unlikely unless he has to leave for fraud. I mean, it's possible there's fraud involved with the $2.7 billion renovation.
And he was asked again, and he said, we're not planning on doing it, meaning firing Jay Powell. This is a jump ball. Who's most interested in talking about this? So this was in response to a report, among others, that was in the Wall Street Journal that President Trump had been asking Republican members in Congress kind of feel, and it was based on a source and a senior official in the administration, whether he kind of gauge out. It sounded like he was gauging the temperature in the room among Republican leaders, whether he should fire Jay Powell. And so there was that report out, which he described as being inaccurate. I think those were his words. The reports, they're not true.
You know, I'm old school. You guys know this. I actually like that he came out and he was pretty firm in saying he's not going to touch Jay Powell until Scott Bessent says, maybe next May of 2026. I follow the market reaction. I think the markets are looking for stability, and they want to know that this is a president that won't meddle in long-held tradition, whether you agree with Jay Powell or not, whether you think he's political or not. I know that that is up for debate, Kenny. But at least from a market perspective, regaining some of the bigger losses that we had a few hours ago on those initial reports, because the market can say, okay, you know what, we'll get through May, we'll get through tradition, and then we can in February appoint someone for a 14-year term, May redo Powell's term and boot him out if we want. So at least I find calm and comfort in that report, whether people agree with me or not.
Right, but I think it's all the noise, right, that surrounds it. He's firing one day, he's not firing the next day. He's going to announce a new Fed chair, he's not going to announce a new Fed chair. So that uncertainty is what causes the chaos in the markets, right? Investors just want to know where we're going. It doesn't just tell us if you're going to announce a new Fed chair ahead of schedule, just say it and let's be done with it, and then the market can adjust. It's the back and forth that causes the chaos. And so today at this news conference, you heard him. He kind of went back both ways. Some people want me to fire him, but I'm not going to do that. Or at least I'm not going to say I'm going to do that.
Well, he loves the chaos.
Right, exactly.
He tries to read what the reaction is going to be to the chaos. So it's like you put it out there, you test the waters, you see how the market's going to react. You never really know sometimes with investors. For example, look how calm the markets have been with all the trade conversations going on now, but it wasn't like that on Liberation Day. He also said, while he denied the reports that came out last night, he also said that he did ask some of the Republican congressmen if he should do something like that, and they all said yes. But Brian, that was where he said, but I'm much more conservative than everybody else. And then he said, but you know, this idea of fraud and revamping the Federal Reserve to the tune of $2.5 billion, well, that's being investigated. So he sprinkles little breadcrumbs out there. He kind of sees where everything is going, and I think that's how sometimes he decides what road he's going to take.
This, to me, felt like this was a question time or briefing where his big point was, we've got bigger problems to solve. It didn't matter kind of what the press asked him, whether it was on the Fed or whether it was on, Epstein conspiracy or whatever. Whatever. This is focused President Trump. He said, we've got bigger things to do. We've got border issues. We've got economy issues. We've got foreign policy issues. I'm sitting right next to a guy from the Middle East. We've got issues there as well. And I like that. I don't understand why the president, and you said this, he's sort of a testing guy. He's never afraid to have a conversation. He's never afraid to meet with somebody. He's never afraid to raise an issue. He's always somebody who says, it's never 100%, right? There's always a 1% chance I can do things. But so when you read stories about him firing Jay Powell today, if you've seen this guy operate, you have to say to yourself, why am I betting that he's going to do this?
Right.
Like he always, he has the conversation. I know this is hard for markets, Kenny, and you can disagree with me, But I like that he's the kind of guy who asks the question, hey, what do you guys think I should do? Do you think I should do something with this? He wants to get the input before he makes a decision. And what happens is the press finds something, I think, the press finds something that they think they can make hay with,
right,
and they turn it from a possibility, a remote possibility, to the probability, and then you get market reactions like we got today.
And that's really the problem, right? Is that it's okay for him to ask and, surround himself with people that he looks for their opinion, looks for their guidance from. I have no problem with that. But it's when the story gets out of control and then the press turns it into, oh my God, he's firing him at 2 o'clock this afternoon.
I think they make it out of control. They don't wait for it to get out of control. They make it out of control, so they have something they can bludgeon him over the head with.
Right. To try to make this about Donald Trump is just beyond beyond comprehension. You know who's been the biggest problem for the American people? It is Jay Powell. Jay Powell, by blowing out the balance sheet, it allowed Joe Biden and his cronies to ramp up spending. And the twin morons of Powell and Biden created a cost of living crisis that crushed working families in this country. Jay Powell, $700 million over budget on a $2.5 million Taj Mahal in Washington, which he's saying, oh, we don't have a garden on the roof. We don't have VIP elevators. We don't have this fancy dining room. Then why are you over $700 million over budget? Why have you lost $235 billion? Why are you illegally financing the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau for years? That's actually cause to fire him. So he is getting, the president, good advice. And if there's anybody who has caused grief for the markets, it's Jay Powell, who won't lower interest rates, who didn't lower interest rates all year long, despite inflation being it's 1.8% annualized since President Trump took office. But he gave Kamala Harris a big, fat, tasty double rate cut right before the election because that's who he wanted in office. There is cause to fire him. And the coolest head in the room is Donald Trump.